You won't believe it. After all this time, we finally made it out to Grotto to Gravel, and Gus and Mariette aren't here. But we have bumped into two very interesting people. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
These guys have just travelled all the way from the UK down to South Africa on CG125. Yeah. Lauren?
Yes.
Tom? I got it right. That's 1 out of 7 so far. CG125, it's a good start. Tell us your story. How does that sound? And I'm going to start off by just telling you how they met, and they decided, well, Tom said to Lauren, we can't make this a long-term thing because I'm off on a trip, and she said, well, guess what, I'm coming with. So there we go. Is that more or less right?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
just over 2
on.
years ago, we met in a pub in England, and
As you do. It's always in a pub.
It's always
of course,
in a
the
pub.
Always
first
in a
date, the first date, over a drink, and I said, yeah, going to go on a big adventure. She said, oh, I'll come with, I've got a van, I'll come with you. I said, no, if you're coming, you've got to have a motorbike, and that's where the seed was planted.
Now, motorbike is a very loose term. Tell us a little bit about your CG. You must have a name for it. I mean, all my motorbikes get names.
This is Jess, it's Kiki.
Jess and Kiki.
Yeah.
Jess is a 1982
2005. She looks old, but
Yeah.
2005 CG125, and this was your your transport in the UK.
Yeah, I've had it for 7 years. Actually, just a few weeks after I bought it, I had an R1 I was going to do a European trip on, and that was plaguing me with issues. And I thought, well, the only other bike I've got to take is this, and that's what gave me the idea that you can travel bigger distances. I did 2,100 miles, so what's that in Ks? 3,000
Yeah.
something in 10 days around Europe, 6 or 7 countries.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with the idea of doing, trips on small motorbikes because it's somewhat underwhelming, but you've got the underdog with you. You're taking something. It should be delivering pizza or cutting across a city, but you're taking it somewhere it shouldn't be, and it's great fun.
You're not far wrong. I remember a while ago, and it's minuscule compared to what you guys. We worked for another bunch, and we took all the small scooters on the South African market, and we got onto them. We rode all the way to Durban. You could literally see the sunflowers doing this as you rode past, and I vowed to myself, never again. But in saying that, we've also had tiny little bikes that we've got up across Lesotho on, and what you say is quite right. There's something special about riding a little bike. I'm just not sure about the distance. That's a big thing. So run us through. You started in the UK, and where did you go?
Yeah, so we left the UK in December. First stop was France, crossed the Pyrenees, in the winter, snow-capped mountains into Spain, then Morocco, Mauritania, Senegal, Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Togo, Benin,
There's a
Nigeria.
test. I hope you're paying attention. Yes.
Nigeria, Cameroon, Republic of Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, Angola, Namibia, Botswana, South Africa.
So
Okay.
this is our,
This is our 20th
20th
African country.
yeah.
And when everybody saw you, they said, ish, ish, ish. with
Oh,
all, with all your luggage on the
turned
back.
some heads, yeah. We've
Yeah,
definitely
there's so
turned
many
some
times the question is, where are you from? We're from England. On this bike? Yes. I can't believe it. Their mouth drops open. Yeah, they don't believe that we brought this bike from the UK to here.
It's been our favourite part of the trip, the reactions that we get from
Absolutely.
people,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's
And I
always
think that's
interesting.
part of it, the underdog. People don't expect it.
Yes. This
and
is biking
people-
on a budget. No,
People,
no
people,
question.
people underestimate it. People
Yeah.
think you can't do it, and you can. It's just like if you might do 1,000 little trips on a bike, it's the same as doing one big trip.
Absolutely, 100%.
Still do the same kilos. So
And you get to see an awful lot more on these because you're not going.
Yeah. You've
We're
Tell
forty.
me the percentages now. So I would imagine a lot of it was tar, but you must have had some challenges in the dirt as well.
Yeah, Cameroon was the most challenging for off-roading, I think.
Nigeria to Cameroon, that
Yeah.
crossing there.
Yeah.
There's only 2 real safe crossings.
Yeah.
The third is by boat.
On the ferry. I've seen
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Well, not a ferry. It's the canoes, huh?
Yeah.
So
We didn't
one of
fancy
them,
that.
one of them was allegedly partially blocked, so there was only one option available, and it was like 200 k's, I think, of dirt, and just taking 4x4s there, you get stuck half the time, like ruts that are this deep in places, but luckily we can kind of mooch around and avoid the worst of it and so on. But some really hectic
I was
dirt.
really put to the test.
few rough gravel roads, the corrugations, but
Yeah.
95% I would say tar.
Yeah.
But then even that, sometimes it's potholed and you're still
No, you got to
still
keep
not
your wits
easy.
about it. Best roads? Don't say South Africa. Angola, best roads.
Not for potholes actually,
Yeah.
but for views.
Yeah.
Sorry, best conditioned roads.
Quality, probably Morocco or Namibia.
Morocco, yeah, definitely.
Did you guys? Sorry, I'm interjecting here. Did you guys I know in Angola there's that really fantastic mountain pass here, El Deb or something.
I don't know what it's called, but there's one that's recommended.
I'll find the name and I'll put it up on
It's
screen.
kind of, if Luanda was here, it's somewhere around here.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, incredible. Like, it's
It's sort of like an African Stelvio pass.
yeah, I coined the term bombshell scenery because it's not that it looks like a bomb's gone off and destroyed it, but it's like every second, oh my god, look at the bomb, look at that, just constantly, and
Well, it's not every second, it's every 20 seconds.
I see you've written one.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's fantastic that area in Angola.
Tell me, things like finding fuel and all, no problems. You obviously planned. Did you carry extra fuel and water and stuff with you?
Carrying water,
Yeah.
but fuel we did a couple of times, but just wasn't necessary. Yeah. We ended up.
People sort of scared us into that and said, make sure you carry fuel. And a lot of times one time we took the advice, we just didn't need it.
Just
I'm
sat on the back of the
shocked
bike for 3 or 4 days, and we thought, why are we carrying the extra weight?
What's the point?
It's pointless. Yeah. I mean, there were a couple of times, Nigeria, for example, you'd visit like every 5 petrol stations. You'd finally find one that had fuel.
And you'd queue for ages.
Yeah, you queue and they like fuel. No, I mean
halfway.
typically the ones that did have a big queue, you're like, great. Well, I know I'm going to get fuel here. It's just going to take half an hour of sitting in the sunshine. But
Quite often we were ushered to the front though.
yeah.
But you weren't in a hurry, so what's the problem?
Yeah, it's just when
We've
you're
got nothing but time.
Like you see my skin
Yeah.
being sat in the sun.
Absolute.
That's the difficult part.
So now, sorry, I'm interjecting again here from behind the camera, but I think one of the biggest advantages is doing it on the bikes that you're doing. They're carburetors, so you don't really have to worry about old fuel or dirty fuel too much.
Yeah.
Where with the fuel injected bikes, you're probably going to pick up. So this is probably the ideal way to do it.
We've cleaned the carb. I think twice or 3 times on mine. Once on yours, I think. Once, we did it in Benny.
Once,
So generally, it's just not been so bad. And we've a few times had to take fuel from glass bottles that's got leaves and dirt and rubbish at the bottom of it.
Filtered all that.
But it's possible. Almost everywhere there is fuel somewhere, whether it's in someone's shed or whatever. You get hold of it.
And tell me, the people in general, friendly, helpful.
The nicest people we've come across.
Incredible.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Africa's not all bad. It's wonderful.
100% from Morocco to here.
Yeah.
90% of people are kind, caring. They're interested. They want to, check. Have you got water? Have you got food? Do you need something? Can I help you? Do you need mechanic? Literally, wherever you stop on the side of the road to take a photo. Someone will stop. Are you okay?
And
We
you're
don't speak
surrounded
very
by
good
people that-
French, and they're checking that you're okay. That they'll find someone that does speak English that can just double check that you've got everything you need. And I'm not just saying this because you guys are here, but genuinely, I think South Africans have had the best hospitality so far.
We've got a very big motorbike culture, which is nice. And
not
when we
even
hear of
motorcycling.
pictures like you, it's just we lekker people.
It's not even
You're
motorcycling.
gonna learn the word lekker.
lekker,
That's the most
I've
important.
learned lekker. I've learned doff.
Doff is really common, yeah.
And if you're Maddie Green, there's a word that goes before lekker.
Yeah, no, don't even.
You're not allowed to use it.
And I've learned a couple of other words that we'll tell you afterwards. Once the camera stop rolling.
I've got one more question. So every time I've done this, we did one with remember that guy that came down from North Cape down to Cape Gadas, Fabry Rock.
Yeah.
He was an Africa twin, and he had extra tires and everything strapped all over his bike.
Yeah, that was.
So these little 125's from any manufacturer all over Africa, and they all run the same size tires.
Pretty much.
So tires and parts should be easy to get.
What did you
We've
carry?
replaced. We've got a couple of things like spark plugs, coil packs, CDI, regulator,
Inner
rectifier,
tubes.
tubes, a couple of bulbs,
Yeah.
a few spare bolts,
Can I
washers,
ask you another
zip
question?
ties.
Can the young lady change a tire?
Yes.
Please marry
You-
her. Just marry her. Can we marry her?
I struggle
think
with,
I'm ordained by the Church of Motorbikes. I'm sure I can marry you guys.
I struggle with the.
It's the final bit getting the tyre over,
Yeah.
isn't it?
But with a bit of help I can get there.
But
And
generally
I know
it's
the general.
it's the first bit getting the tyre off the rim, and then the last little bit when it's
I'm
really
trying
tight.
to learn
But
as
the rest
much
of the
as I
time,
can. I want to go. I want to rebuild my own bike and like whenever there's mechanics, like I try to at least listen or do it myself. I want to learn.
There's
Yeah.
many reasons I love her.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
Well, can I tell
If she
you?
cuts the grass, it's a dunghill.
Good on you. Good on
Okay,
you.
tell us a little bit about it. It can't all be sunshine and roses. You must have had a few little tricky bits. Tell us some of the challenges that you guys had, please.
For me, it was lack of privacy, and that's, I sound very ungrateful saying that,
No,
but
you're
I'm
100%
very
correct.
grateful. But you don't get a moment's peace, even
Yeah.
when you've set up camp. If somebody comes past, you know, they want to watch you brush your teeth, they want to watch you have a wash out of a saucepan. You know, your wild wheeze, they're not private. So I think that was a big thing for me, because I just sometimes, when, especially after the Banyo crossing that we were talking about earlier, I was exhausted. That's, you know, I've only had a year's riding,
Yes.
so I'm very new to the bike ride, and I was really put to the test with that. And when I was exhausted, everything hurt, my entire body hurt, and we were surrounded by these kids, and obviously for them it's the first time seeing this. It's an experience for them, so I try and push down my feelings and give them that, but I couldn't that day.
Yeah.
Tom had to take it. I just sat there eating my noodles, and I was just like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
For me, privacy.
It is like that because you are. It's like a circus coming to town. Everybody
Yeah.
wants to have a look.
Yeah.
You
And
know, what
everyone
are
wants
these?
to touch
Yeah, they're
me
called
and-
mulungus. What are these crazy
Yeah.
mulungus doing in the middle of in the middle of the place?
Yeah. Stroke my
Mechanical problem. Yeah, I've heard a lot of that.
Yeah.
They don't understand. They all want to touch your
Yeah,
hands.
they
wanna
unwrap
slap.
my hair and they're doing this and touching me.
Yeah.
Someone said it's luck. If they touch a white person, it's luck.
Okay.
I don't know. how
My
lucky
favorite
I
is when
am,
they
but-
grab my crash helmet and put it on and rush.
Yeah.
And you think, oh no, that's like my toothbrush. Bring it back here. It's like that. It is like that.
Yeah.
Mechanical breakdowns. Have you had anything catastrophic happen on the way? I see you've got a Yamaha wheel on here. See, I'm a good mechanic.
Yeah.
Tell us a little
Spotted
bit about
without
that.
being told.
No, nobody said a word.
Yeah, I had to employ my best bush mechanics because the way these Honda CGs hold the sprocket on, it's just a little circlet
Yeah.
on the casting, and that casting broke, which meant the sprocket was then able to float. So I had to get a few cable ties out, like cable tie it to the spokes,
Yeah.
and it held for like 600 or 800 k's we did from Ivory Coast into Ghana.
I kept watching that wheel.
And I was
right?
expecting like it to break one cable tie, then another,
Yeah.
and like it would load it in different ways, but it was solid. Yeah, really good. We were really daft, or doff, as you might say. Yeah, Lauren's engine. That's not the original engine that we left with. That was replaced. After day 4 of the trip.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Only 4 days in.
Yeah, we had a really stressful time when we were leaving, selling literally everything we own. That's how we're funding this.
I'm
It
going
was-
to get
for
back to you
me,
on that
it was
one
the
now.
most stressful
Yeah.
2 weeks
Yeah.
of my life
was,
leaving for this trip. It was
Building the bikes, we took longer than we expected.
Yeah.
Like
because I was working as well.
and
Yeah.
we kept putting off checking Lauren's oil and or changing the oil, not even checking it.
But as you do, you
And,
thought it's a Honda. It'll be fine.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then we went to leave. This guy invited us to his house for lunch on a Sunday, and she started the bike up, and it's knock.
Oh, no.
I was
Oh dear.
gutted.
Checked
Yeah.
it, like took the helmet off and everything. Checked the dick strip, bone dry.
Oh.
Checked the litre of oil in. Started it up. Knock.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long it had been running without oil for, but credit where credit's due, it was still running. And apart from the knocking,
Yeah.
it idled perfectly. It revved up like it was awesome.
Can I ask you a question? What did you pay for that bike? Because obviously Tom had his bike, you had to buy something.
Yeah, so mine, I can't remember exactly, but I think we got the going down to about £950.
Yeah, it was £900
Yeah.
or thereabouts, so which is like
£900 times 20. That's not bad.
22,000
But this
rand,
was
yeah.
7 years ago you bought this, and
Yeah.
this was £450.
£450, yeah.
Pounds, yeah. So, bit different, but that's my first ever bike.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that
And
was-
what did the replacement motor cost you? Where were you? You were in
That's a
France?
great
Some beer.
story. Yeah, some
Yeah.
beer.
Some
Okay,
beer.
go
So
on then.
Yeah.
We had a friend that was doing this trip, but he'd done it in 2 halves, Jack. But he was riding a sensible XT660.
It's a good choice.
and so he'd left in November, I think, to restart from Gambia and head south.
Yeah.
And he saw that we were having this issue, and he just messaged me and said, "Hey man, I have a CG engine back at home. It's doing nothing." I said, "Oh, it's okay, but they changed a lot through the years, so unless it's the right one."
Yeah.
Like, he said, "Oh, it's like 1 year later, but the electric start model, so perfect.
Yeah.
I said, oh, amazing, Jack, you're a saviour. How much? He went, yeah, just buy me some beer.
No way.
And I still haven't bought him that beer.
His name's Jack?
Yeah,
Jack, you're a gentleman. I hope you see this, mate. Well done.
But also he says that he wants it back at the end to go in a museum, doesn't he? That's
Yeah.
the deal.
Oh, for sure.
But originally
Yeah.
when we took it, we said we're going to South Africa, and now we want to go around the world. So I sent him another message recently and said, hey man, do you know you were going to get that engine back? Do you mind waiting a little bit longer? And he said, I thought the agreement was I'm not having it back until it's been round the world. So that's the kind of guy Jack is.
Well done. He's an adventurer. Motorcyclist,
Yeah,
you see?
he's the
We
best
We all,
kind of
we all
guy.
share those genes.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. How long have you been on the road for?
Just over 6 months, so 186 days.
Yeah, well, we stopped
Around
counting
the
when we
world in
arrived.
180 days. Book about that, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, we stopped counting when we arrived here, but we could work it out. But yeah, 186 days it took us to get here.
To get
186.
yeah.
That's amazing. How long are you here for?
Here
Long
or
enough
in
to
South
fix your
Africa?
motorbike.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Inside, but what's your plan? Are you going to tour a little bit while you're
In,
here?
in South Africa, yeah,
South
we have
Africa, definitely.
90 days visa free,
Mhm.
so we're planning to use up all of them if we can. Take some time, relax, rebuild the bikes because they're in a
Rebuild
slightly
our
sorry
bikes.
state at the moment. yeah, they're in a slightly sorry state, and then we want to explore. We've heard so many good things about here, and Gus and Maria have been saying, "Oh, you must see this pass, and then this pass, and then this pass."
We,
and
we,
there's
we
so
are
many
spoiled
incredible,
here, I tell you. No.
So yeah, we want
Motorbikes is
to
good.
tick
And
off
try
as
and
much
get
as we
through
can.
the Sutu if you can.
Yeah.
Just go and see.
Yeah,
Go and
it's
see
on the
Kunzi
list.
Dam and
It's on the list. Yeah,
truly
Sunny
amazing.
Pass we've heard is good as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, we're looking forward to exploring.
And then you want to go around the world. Okay,
Yes.
what's your
Yeah.
plan? Tell me that.
So-
Okay, and then I'm going to ask the finance
So-
question after that.
Oh,
So we'll
please
get on
don't.
to that.
Don't
Okay.
hold us.
Right.
Don't hold us to it.
This is the plan, yeah.
Because plans change.
Yeah, of course.
Readily.
I say we have a plan,
yeah.
not a plan.
Okay, it's not complicated. I got that. Yeah.
So after here, we want to head up north and east, tick off as many countries as we can along the way to Kenya, ship from Kenya to India, head east until we hit water, head south until we hit water, and then maybe ship over to South America, head north until we hit water again.
Wonderful. Okay, now I'm going to ask the big question. How the hell do you afford to do this?
We
I
don't.
mean, you guys are young. I don't know if you're professionals or whatever. Are you squillionaires with wealthy dads who just say, here's a lot of money, go on holiday?
No.
Tell me a little bit about it, because that's always been the challenge. I often hear people who say,
Yeah.
I was going to go, but hey, when you get a little bit older, you've got responsibilities and a bond, and it's a
We're
reality.
very
How did you do it?
So
no,
we-
but
so-
that's awesome. I love this girl. Please, will you
I know.
just get your act
Do
together?
you know what's
now?
even better? She doesn't want to get
If
married.
you
It's
still,
perfect.
if you still like each other, that's a good start.
It is, for
Okay.
sure.
No, talk to me.
Um,
How do you afford to do
So
something like this?
it's self-funded, and we thankfully had a couple of sponsors, like the luggage was sponsored, the tyres, but majority is funded by us, just selling absolutely everything we own. Like we don't have a home, a car, anything back home. Families don't have a lot of money, so they haven't sent anything over.
But they are waiting. Family, are you listening?
Yeah.
yeah. Pounds go a long way. so-
We've nearly run out of money a couple of times, but then the final hour
We
kind of,
figure it out.
we would have definitely run out of money before now if it wasn't for a combination of having a tax rebate for both of us come through from the UK. Some great folks that have. We have some names on the bikes. Those are people that have chosen to kind of personal sponsor. They spend 25 quid, which is what, 500 rand or thereabouts. Their name will be on their bike forever. So even if the sticker gets damaged, they'll get replaced. They'll be on that bike
So
forever.
if I give you
And,
each $500, our logo goes on your bikes.
Absolutely.
perfect.
Yeah.
Did you bring stickers?
Well, no, we'll print your name.
Oh yeah, we can print your name. It'll be on there.
Okay.
But yeah, so trying to get inventive with a few ideas. There's the YouTube channel, but that doesn't bring a massive amount of money in. What that brings in a
Attracts
month,
us over.
it definitely helps.
Well, who do we look for on YouTube? Let's get the guys to go and look.
I like motorbikes.
I like motorbikes.
I like motorbikes.
I like motorbikes.
Yeah.
I like motorbikes. Okay,
Yeah.
no, that's great.
Yeah.
It's such a apt story. Guys, border crossings. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I was actually really nervous about border crossings before this trip because a lot of people back home don't have anything good to say about Africa, and they were the one thing I was sort of fearing. But now I just find them boring. They're not scary. They can.
It's tedious, isn't it?
It's tedious. It's just there's rules that aren't official rules, and it's the fights and arguments we've
Yeah.
had to come along.
We haven't paid a single bribe
We haven't
though.
paid any
We've been
bribe,
asked
yeah.
many times.
You are the second
But-
lot to tell me this. We did the story on. I'll point you in the direction of guys who went up on the Nordens, and they said exactly the same thing. They didn't pay a
Hey,
single
if
bribe.
you've got time,
Yeah.
you won't pay. promise you, if you're in a rush, yeah, you'll pay.
We have a few tactics as well, like me not sitting down, being a woman,
Yeah.
that panics them. They're like, take a seat. I'm like, no, I'm okay. And then they're like, what? But you have to.
Then the boss
Yeah.
will come and see, well, why is
Why
this woman
she's- why
standing?
she's not-
Oh,
yeah.
we'll get them out. Let's
Yeah.
do their papers and get them out.
Ladies, are you
Yeah.
listening?
Yeah.
The type's done. Yeah.
And as well, be patient. Patience is the biggest thing. They say, you must pay. We're going to do this. Well, you'll be waiting for 2 days. I say, I'll wait a month. That's
That's
no problem. I'll set my tent
where
up.
can we put
Like,
the tent? Then
yeah,
they go,
and
what?
then
What?
they're baffled. They're thinking
Yeah.
like, oh, we thought we were going to get money from you for making you wait. And you're like, no.
Well, you're on CG125's.
Yeah.
You're in no hurry.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how
Hey,
it
we're,
goes.
we're cash poor, but we're time rich. They
Yeah.
make us wait, no problem.
Yeah.
It's
It's okay.
unbelievable.
But it's quite fun when we get that now. Like the first couple of times you're a bit nervous because you get a big guy in your face shouting at you, and then now we always leave with a smile and a handshake at the end of it, don't
Yes,
we? They're
every
always
time.
friends with us. And,
I've always found, and I've travelled a lot, just be lekker. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Try and be
Yeah.
lekker. It's
Try
difficult
and-
sometimes. Bite your tongue.
Yeah, and another thing we worked out as well: don't arrive hungry, thirsty, tired. Like, if you can be well fed, well watered, well
or
rested,
at
and you
least one
arrive,
of those three.
your ability to then deal with the nonsense they're inevitably going to throw at you, it's like sky high compared to if you go there hungry and then.
And that was a good breakfast after a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, I'm going to get to that now. Tell me about all your meals. You cannot possibly carry. You must have eaten some really interesting stuff along the way. Most memorable meal, other
Chicken
than
and rice.
Chicken and rice.
Chicken and rice everywhere,
because
chicken
it's-
and rice ever
You
again.
only get chicken and rice. Most memorable is probably the chicken sandwich we had.
if it was chicken.
It wasn't a chicken sandwich.
The short version of the story is we'd already tried to get breakfast somewhere. After like 2 hours of waiting, we only had a coffee. We asked again, no, there isn't breakfast there. So we went and found another place. Go through the menu, and it's in Benin, so French speaking. Pointing out this, no, we don't have it. This, no, we don't have it. This, and it said in it, chicken sandwich, not
In
sandwich
English.
poulet.
Yeah.
It was literally written in English. Pointing it, yeah, we have it. Great, okay.
It's a perfect
Half an hour,
two
40 minutes goes by, so it's nearly midday by this point, and it arrives. It's a big platter. Jeez, big chicken sandwich. Pull it open. We have noodles, chips, mackerel, tinned
Wow.
vegetables. We ordered the chicken sandwich. Oh, the chicken sandwich. No, we don't have it.
I couldn't speak
So-
to him. I was hysterically laughing because I thought if I don't laugh, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
he kept apologising to me. He's like, sorry,
Yeah,
sorry, and I just couldn't talk
We're
to
just
him.
like,
So
honestly,
he's-
don't worry about it.
it's
We'll
fine,
eat.
it. Like, we're just hungry now.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
But yeah, there's a lot of the availability and the quality of the food has been pretty poor generally. So I've eaten a lot of like instant ramen noodles on the gas stove overnight. Yes,
Curries
really
and
basic pasta dishes
sauces
and
yeah.
because typically you can pick up veggies on the roadside.
Yeah.
Fairly easy, really cheaply, rather than going to a store that's kind of westernized and then the price is 4 or 5 times that the locals might pay.
So expensive.
So yeah, just a lot of really basic meals. Some bread from the roadside, avocado, sweet corn and tomato sauce, and hey, that's lunch.
Well,
That's,
you're not skinny, so you
Well,
you
we've
did
lost
okay.
a lot of
that's
weight.
since we
I
got
would
here.
imagine that. Yeah, no,
We'll
no,
show
okay.
you a photo later. We've
Yeah.
lost a lot
Yeah, you
of
won't
weight.
believe it.
Yeah.
It's,
Big moon faces when we started.
Well, there we go. So
It's been
there's
great,
instant
yeah.
weight loss. Just ride a CG125
Yeah, the West
Across Africa,
way.
yeah.
down Africa. You're okay.
Yeah.
Guys, I think that kind of covers what we want to chat to you about. What an adventure, guys! If you don't need a big fancy motorbike to go adventure, and I'll say something else. It costs a fraction of the price to repair something like this than what it does a big bike. Carbureted, easy to repair on the run. Oil changes, and a bike like a CG125, there must be 17 million of them all the way up Africa.
It's probably one of the most copied bikes in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
So,
Parts, and even if you get a Chinese knockoff, you can still find the same brake
Sure.
pads and
Yeah.
this, the that,
Yeah.
the that, the
Yeah.
that. Tires, one set of tires the whole way down.
we changed the rear tire in Sierra Leone. The front
Front's
is still the
still the
original,
same, yeah.
so 27,000 Ks. And
Don't look too
still go-
closely.
if you look at the front of mine,
It's like
it's due changing.
Yeah.
But you're right out the gate. There's a roadblock just down the road. So just watch it. Guys, is there anything you'd like to add? Anything that you
Tell us about your most memorable moments.
Yeah.
Most memorable moment.
Yeah.
The most memorable and the least memorable.
Well, the most memorable, the happy one, and the most memorable for being sad.
Mauritania, for me, I really disliked my time in Mauritania.
What's the reason for that?
The animal abuse and the lack of hospitality, it just felt a bit cold, and the stairs were a bit different. I think for me, being a woman, I think it's a lot tougher. And we had kids throwing stones at us when we rode past. It just wasn't nice. And the animal, I've seen someone hit a dog with a car, and it just, all of these little things, it just, yeah.
What your most memorable, best thing?
Oh, most memorable. I don't know. There's so many.
Meeting us.
Yes.
Come on now.
I think
And the
there's,
coffee and the
there's
hospitality.
a handful. A couple that really stand out for me is being invited for tea. We're stood by the roadside in Morocco, and this lady says, "Hey, like, we're taking a photo and eating an apple."
Morocco's
She says,
fantastic. I love
"Hey,
it.
yeah."
Morocco's by
She said,
the
"Hey,
paradise.
do you want tea?" And we're trying to understand tea. What does tea mean? Oh, I mean tea. Tea is the same.
Tea.
Ah, tea. Okay.
Yeah.
And then she sits us down, and then a table comes out, and then a cloth, and then
It's
the
like a
cooking
whole
was-
ceremony.
the
Yeah.
whole thing. It wasn't just tea. We had omelette, fresh bread, honey, olives, nuts, like this whole spread. And she didn't want anything like.
She didn't speak a word of English. We didn't
Yeah.
speak Arabic.
Just
at
out of
all.
the goodness of her
And
heart.
we were just
so,
sign
so
language
sweet.
trying to speak to her. And,
Yeah,
oh,
and then her
so
daughter came
endearing.
out and spoke a little bit of English in between Google Translate with her daughter, and then the tiny bit of French we know. We kind of, had a really good time with her.
And they wouldn't take any money off of
No,
us. We tried to give them
we
something 'cause they
forced
had
them to take
nothing.
money, but they were really against it. That was just
Yeah.
the
Wow.
kindness of it. And then another one for me is a good thing. Yeah, that Banya crossing that we spoke about. Yeah, it was tough, but particularly because we were on these bikes, they're just not built for it.
Yeah.
But man, was it beautiful! It went from places like it looked like Scotland, then like the Swiss and Austrian Alps. Then it was just
What country is that? Sorry.
between Nigeria and Cameroon.
Cameroon,
that
that's
crossing.
right. Yeah.
So stunning, and really didn't anticipate
And
that.
you've got photos of all of this for us.
yeah.
I'm
Of course,
assuming.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
We've
gonna
We've got
run
about
you that
1,000,
Yeah.
2,000 photos.
I need a new, I need new storage to run out.
That's cool.
But yeah,
You
one
can
thing
get
that
here.
was,
You can get it.
Yeah.
yeah, one thing that was memorable, but for a bad thing, was the guy at the Senegal border, and like he was really shouting like in my face, like literally this far away, telling me that I'm gonna pay this and I must do that, and it was like the equivalent of like $2.
Yeah.
But hey, he's never met a more stubborn guy than me.
Ah, fair
We
enough.
stood there
I was
for,
like,
for
give him
half
the
an
money,
hour,
give him the
and then
money.
he went and stood behind us. The doorway was behind us, and he's blocking the doorway to make sure we
He's
can't leave
real-
because
yeah.
we had our passports back. We had a
Yeah.
lot of documents, but he was trying to make us pay this.
He was trying
Yeah.
to take them back off of us as
this
well. We
fee-
were holding on
yeah,
to
he
them
said,
for
"Give me the
dear
passport.
life.
Let me show you." I'm like, "No, I'm flicking through, holding on to it, thinking you're not getting this back because then I know what's going to happen."
Yeah.
And yeah, by then the queue's starting like behind us, and we're blocking people up. And then the boss came in and said, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
Kind of explained we wouldn't pay. And yeah, he kind of very diligently went, "Well, let me see this paperwork. Oh, you have this. Why aren't you doing it?" "Well, we're going to do it to passing through Senegal into Gambia, then back to Senegal." And we said, "Well, we're going to get this document stamped when we leave Senegal properly." He went, "Oh, okay." But you wrote on a post-it note, "Stamp this document when they leave Senegal." Like it could have been written by anyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pass the sat, smile and a handshake, off you go. But yeah, it took half an hour of being berated by this very, very angry
Angry
immigration
person, yeah.
official.
Use common sense. That's a big
Yeah,
thing.
just be patient. That's the for
I
sure.
think meeting Mary as well in
She was wonderful.
Ghana.
So many good people with me.
So yeah, I think that's the highlight for me, isn't it? Like I've made friends now for life, especially Mary.
Yeah,
like,
there's
she's-
so many people we
yeah.
want to go back and visit.
So who's Mary in Ghana? Come on.
Mary, we just bumped into her.
Yeah, she's
didn't
actually
we?
Ivorian, so
She's
she's from
actually
the Ivory
from-
Coast.
yeah. But we bumped into her in a supermarket, and she helped us find accommodation. They drove all around trying to find us accommodation in our budget.
Yeah, we just asked, "Do you know somewhere
Yeah.
that nearby that we can go?"
With,
She said, "Oh, we're going to go to this place." And then she walks
She
outside
jumped
with
on the
us,
back
and then
of
she said,
Tom's bike.
"We're like, oh, you're coming with us?" Yeah, I'll sit on the back. So we had to take some luggage off, make space for her. She came pillion, and took us around to 5 or 6 hotels. Just took her own time. They paid for the taxi, wouldn't let us pay for it. Wonderful things. Yeah, then we partied with her the next day
Yeah.
because
It gives you faith in your fellow man, doesn't it?
Oh, so much. And we've got, hey, we could do this all again, double the length with the amount of people that have, helped us out, bought us something, fed us,
Nigeria,
clothed
the
us.
guys at Sinclair,
Yeah.
We just honestly, we could just talk for hours about the people.
Yeah,
The people have made this trip.
100%.
Yeah, it's
Fantastic.
completely changed our minds on Africa, and a lot of the people back home, our friends and family that were worried, and we say to them, we're at beautiful coastlines. They're like, "What? That's not what we see on the TV for
Yeah.
Africa." And we've met these great people, and it's.
But they say misery breeds company, doesn't it? That's what it's all about. People love doom and gloom and all that.
It's
There's
what
so
sells
much good.
newspapers. People
Exactly.
don't click. Someone says, "Hey, someone's having a good time." You're like, "Yeah."
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You'll see on our websites, we're always having a good time. And that's what it is. It's got to be an escape from day-to-day drudgery. Guys, I want to say thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure meeting you. And I wish you well in your future travels. And I hope you're going to kind of keep in touch. We'll swap
Absolutely.
details.
Sure. Yeah.
And please, if you can just send us a little update here and there, we can run a regular and just say, here they are, you met them at Grotto to Gravel, guess where they are now? Bang.
Perfect.
Please send 500 Rand. That's how you do it. And we'll see if we can fund you guys too. But it's
Amazing.
been an absolute
Thank you
pleasure.
so
Thank
much.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
And Wow, I'm more than just a little bit envious. And the fact that you did it on these little motorbikes, what a pleasure. Well done, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so
It
much
means a
for your
lot.
time.
Thank you.